Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Victor's bold move against Audra, plotting vengeful takeover at Abbott Chancellor. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates tease Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver, is treading on thin ice at Newman Enterprises, a situation that could backfire on her if she's not cautious. Recently, Kyle Abbott, Michael Mueller, exposed her for revealing to Nate Hastings, seen Dominic, that Victor Newman, Eric Braden, was the secret investor behind Lisade. Naturally, Kyle rushed back to Victor to report his colleague immediately, prompting Victor to confront Audra at the first chance he got. Audra attempted to defend herself by claiming a romantic relationship with Nate and insisting she was being discreet, but Victor was not convinced. As a result, Audra now has a mark against her in Victor's eyes. Furious and plotting her revenge against Kyle, she may be setting herself up for even more trouble. Audra fails to see something. That something is that Victor has been using her to infiltrate Lisade, and Kyle plays a much more significant role in Victor's scheme to get back at Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman. Kyle is expected to stick around for a while, but Audra is definitely the weak link in this situation. It's likely that Victor will let her go in the near future, possibly within days or weeks. There's even a possibility that Lily Winters, Crystal Cowell, might step into her position at Lisade. This turn of events could force Audra to rethink her revenge strategy, shifting her focus onto Victor while Kyle becomes collateral damage. Might she consider reaching out to Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, for employment? Nate and Audra have previously discussed the Newman-Abbott feud, so she understands that the success of Abbott Chancellor and Victor's failure to seize control of the company will definitely irritate him. Audra is perceptive enough to realize that Victor's schemes for revenge target not just Jack, but also Billy. Since Billy works a few positions down at Abbott Chancellor, he will eagerly seize the opportunity to partner with someone as intelligent and business-minded as Audra. He aspires to be the one in charge, and he'll likely concoct a fancy title for Audra to ensure she feels valued. Additionally, with Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, now involved at AC, tensions are bound to rise between her and Audra, especially given their history of conflicts stemming from Summer Newman, Allison Lanier. In the glittering world of Geno City, power plays and corporate schemes are the lifeblood of its elite. At the center of it all is Victor Newman, the legendary mogul who has made a career out of dismantling adversaries and rising above challenges. Over the years, his empire has expanded and contracted, but one thing has always remained constant: Victor's ruthless determination to protect his family and legacy. Now, with Audra Charles positioning herself as a major player in the Abbott Chancellor conglomerate, Victor senses an opportunity for a bold takeover that will not only crush Audra's ambitions but also gain a significant foothold in two rival families' domains. Audra's overreach, the catalyst. Audra Charles, ambitious and cunning, has been clawing her way up the corporate ladder, impressing Jack Abbott with her strategic thinking and business acumen. She's also built alliances within the Chancellor side of the conglomerate, notably through her relationship with Nate Hastings, giving her a strong foothold in the new Abbott Chancellor Union. While many admire her tenacity, Victor sees her as a dangerous wild card, one that needs to be dealt with swiftly and decisively. The tension between the Newmans and the Abbotts has always simmered beneath the surface, but with this merger, it has reached a new level. Audra's influence grows daily, and with every board meeting and deal she closes, Victor feels the grip on his family's legacy slipping. He's already had his suspicions about her loyalty, especially after hearing whispers about her willingness to betray anyone for power. It's a dangerous game Audra is playing, and Victor has decided it's time to upend the board entirely. Plotting the takeover. Victor's calculated approach. Victor has never been one to rush into battle without a plan. He watches, he waits, and when the time is right, he strikes with precision. And this time his target is not just Audra Charles, but the entire Abbott Chancellor conglomerate. The first step in Victor's plan involves sowing discord among the key players. He knows Jack Abbott is far too trusting of Audra, blinded by her apparent loyalty and intelligence. Victor has long understood the weaknesses in Jack's judgment, especially when it comes to seeing through the manipulations of those around him. Leveraging his own sources within the corporate world, Victor uncovers evidence of Audra's less than savory dealings with several key clients. These pieces of information are minor but damning enough to raise doubts about her integrity. Victor then approaches Ashley Abbott, who has always had a tenuous relationship with her brother Jack. She's long been suspicious of his decisions when it comes to running the company, and with their partnership always on rocky ground, Victor knows she's the key to cracking the Abbott Foundation. He doesn't reveal everything he knows about Audra yet. Instead, he plants just enough seeds of doubt to fuel Ashley's concerns. She agrees to keep a closer eye on Audra, and Victor's web begins to tighten. The Newman advantage: allies in the shadows. Meanwhile, Victor strengthens his alliances within his own family. While his relationship with his children has often been fraught, he knows that Newman Enterprises needs to be unified to take on the Abbotts and the Chancellors. He pulls in Adam, who has always been the wild card in the Newman family dynamics. Adam's ambition rivals Victor's, and his recent rocky history with the Abbotts makes him a valuable asset. Together, they start brainstorming ways to infiltrate the Abbott Chancellor Board, with Adam acting as Victor's inside man. Adam's estranged relationship with Sally Spectra also becomes a useful tool in Victor's plan. Sally, who has worked closely with Nick Newman and is now gaining influence in Genoa City's corporate scene, has connections to both companies. Victor manipulates the tension between Nick and Adam, knowing that it will push Adam closer to him and farther from the Abbott Chancellor Group. Sally, caught in the middle, is unknowingly feeding Victor crucial information as she tries to maintain her own position in the shifting landscape. Audra's downfall: a carefully orchestrated collapse. As Victor tightens his grip on the various players, Audra begins to feel the walls closing in. Jack's confidence in her starts to waver, thanks to the whispers planted by Ashley and Victor's carefully timed leaks of damaging information. Nate, her closest ally, is also feeling the pressure as his ties to Newman Enterprises become a liability in the eyes of Chancellor executives. Soon, Audra finds herself isolated, with no one to trust and nowhere to turn. The final blow comes during a high-stakes board meeting. Victor, always the master strategist, arranges for an emergency shareholder meeting, claiming that new evidence of financial mismanagement has surfaced. Audra, blindsided, scrambles to defend herself, but Victor's allies are ready to pounce. Ashley publicly questions Audra's decisions, backing it up with the subtle but incriminating evidence Victor had supplied her earlier. Jack, feeling betrayed by the very woman he trusted, has no choice but to remove Audra from her position, bowing to the pressure from his family and the board. As Audra's empire crumbles, Victor is already moving on to the next phase of his plan: the takeover of Abbott Chancellor. With Audra out of the way, he makes his move to buy a controlling interest in Chancellor Industries, knowing that the Abbotts won't be able to fend off such an aggressive acquisition without their key player. Victor's ultimate goal is not just to weaken his rivals, but to secure his family's dominance over both corporate empires. The aftermath: a shaken alliance. In the aftermath of Victor's bold move, the Abbott-Chancellor merger is left in disarray. Jack, stunned by Audra's betrayal and struggling to keep his family united, turns inward, questioning his ability to lead. Ashley, though still suspicious of Victor's intentions, knows that without Audra, their company is vulnerable. The Abbotts must now figure out how to pick up the pieces without letting Victor seize complete control. For Victor, the victory is sweet but not without its costs. His ruthless pursuit of power has once again strained his relationships with his children, particularly Nick, who sees the move as an unnecessary escalation of the Newman-Abbott rivalry. Adam, on the other hand, revels in the success, finally feeling like he's earned his father's approval. But in Genoa City, the winds of power never settle for long. While Victor has won this battle, the war for corporate dominance and the souls of Genoa City's most powerful families rages on.